It's the middle of the night, and across Britain, one industry is still working at a hectic pace. As the arteries that allow the blood to flow around our nation, roads are in need of building and repair on a massive scale. Many of those who drive this vital process work while the rest of us sleep. It's part of an industry with a £21 billion turnover that directly employs 80,000 people. Those we see on the front line are the tip of a very large iceberg that starts here. The raw materials come from a network of over 500 quarries. They in turn supply 275 plants where the stone comes together with bitumen to produce asphalt. And behind all this stands a string of supporting industries that supply the necessary tools, plant and equipment. And not to forget a huge operation that delivers materials by road, rail, sea and river. Through a typical 8-hour working shift, the industry can supply and lay in excess of 1,000 tonnes to a single project. Despite the cutbacks forced on it through the years of recession, the industry is now rapidly gearing up to play its part in the government's £15 billion roads upgrade. In England, the programme includes 100 new road schemes, adding up to more than 1,300 lane miles on motorways and trunk roads. Every region is covered in a programme that is as vital in better connecting the southwest as it is to boosting the northern powerhouse. Meanwhile, the programme in Scotland includes the peripheral route for Aberdeen and the dualling of the A9. Wales will similarly invest heavily in a string of major schemes that include the upgrading of the Heads of the Valleys Road and the M4 Relief Road. Via this vast programme, bottlenecks will be removed. Smart motorways and expressways will expand their scope. Roads will also become safer through better design and through encouraging better driver behaviour. And they will also be greener by encouraging better management of carbon emissions. Achieving those ambitions adds up to a substantial challenge for the national roads agencies. They have to meet a tough target to keep 97% of all network lanes available at any time. And they have to ensure safety for contractors and road users alike. The industry faces parallel challenges. For Britain's dramatic drive into the future to succeed, it is likely to need to increase its annual asphalt output by around 1/4 to 25 million tonnes. While the strategic road network is one priority, the wider materials sector must also play its part elsewhere. Included in that are local road maintenance schemes and in other infrastructure projects like HS2 and the new generation of nuclear plants. The calls on sometimes precious resources will be many. So, can the industry not just accelerate, but hit a higher tempo than ever before? Let's take a look at some of the investment going on within the industry to ensure that it can indeed deliver. New investment is putting the added capacity in place, but it also brings with it greater efficiency and reduced energy. Modern plants open the way to low energy asphalt and to the increased use of recycled and secondary aggregates. By using these mixes, the whole life carbon and environmental impacts of our roads can be much reduced. In the same way, delivery by rail, river, and sea minimizes the impacts of long-distance road haulage. But it's not just about plant and equipment. People are the industry's most precious resource, and it invests heavily in their skills. Hundreds of apprentices and graduates have been recruited since 2012, making up 5% of the workforce intake in that time. New recruits get invaluable learning benefits from experienced and older employees. Keeping employees and contractors safe is the industry's #1 priority, and it is constantly evolving best practice and safer techniques. The sector shares these between operators using MPA's Safer By suite of initiatives and awards. So how confident is the industry that it has got the resources in place to meet the demands of this new road building and repair era? Can it really meet the tightest of schedules on individual projects?
Well, in terms of investment in assets, obviously we had a recession in 2008. The industry sort of stopped dead from a very busy cycle. Plants were mothballed, quarries were mothballed. Over the last few years we've come out of that recession again just as quickly as we went into it. So the industry has responded. We're investing in vehicles, we're investing in shovels, excavators, crushing plants, asphalt plants. So we're doing all the things we need to do to deal with it. But companies will only invest if there is a sustainable programme of work ahead of it and a sustainable return for that investment. And that's another message to clients. You know, at the moment we seem to have something sustainable up to 2021. What's going to happen after that? An asphalt plant is a long-term investment. It's a 25-year investment. It's not a 5-year investment. So, but the signs are good, and the signs are encouraging that the client is going to, you know, sustain these levels of investment.
It's very clear that much now depends upon partnership between the industry and the various roads agencies. From the industry's side, there are several fundamental issues that it believes will make a big difference. Firstly, the industry needs clarity over the pipeline of forthcoming demand. It can then ensure that the right investments are made in time and in the right areas across the country. On a local level, early project engagement is essential to ensure that resources are available. This is especially important when materials, equipment, and people may need to be redeployed. Road design and specification needs to be based on a realistic assessment of locally available materials. Only then can a road be truly sustainable. Primary and premium aggregates should be specified only when really necessary and appropriate. All delivery should be well planned within the available working windows in order to optimize available transport. And finally, the industry recognizes the imperative to minimize disruption to road users. But lane closures and contraflows are inevitable, and with weekend and overnight working, so is the possibility of diversions. That necessity needs to be communicated to road users. Above all else, the industry is solutions orientated. That applies whether its customers need a specialized asphalt mix for a specific situation, or if a composite, cement-bound base with asphalt surface is the most sustainable and cost-effective answer. Close working arrangements are essential. The partnerships that exist across Britain between strategically placed suppliers, contractors, national and local highways authorities are fundamental to successful and efficient delivery. This applies equally whether they are SMEs or international operators. The highways investment programmes that are now moving forward across Britain should ensure that tomorrow's roads flow more freely and are inherently safer. And if our infrastructure hits world-class standards, that should in turn knock on into a healthier economy and a more prosperous future for all of us.